fun, quirky nature, because it feels like a fun, quirky game. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, I'd like to talk about the Pokemon Detective Pikachu Returns that was shown off at the Pokemon Presents. So, I never played Pokemon Returns. Oh, hold up. Let me just do one thing before we start all of this. So, I won't be doing a full overview of the Pokemon Presents, mostly because it didn't really have that much stuff that was actually interesting apart from, the Pokemon Detective Pikachu or the Scarlet and Violet DLC, which I will be doing another video on, so get subscribed for that. So if you all want me to talk about the TV shows that were announced, the original net animations, I'll be happy to. Just let me know in the comments. Alright, so basically, let's start with Pokemon Detective Pikachu. I think I reacted to this before during the Nintendo Presents where it was announced. And to me, I never got a chance to play the original Detective Pikachu. And actually, I didn't even watch the Detective Pikachu movie, which is something that I think Nintendo needs to revisit. I think there's a lot of potential in, like a live action Pokemon movie. But for some reason, I don't know if I want to trust Pokemon to Nintendo and Game Freak and their current batch of developers and or designers. I don't know, it just feels like something is missing inside the Pokemon franchise, and I can't really tell you what it is. But for now, I am very excited for Pokemon Detective Pikachu Returns. That's the title of the game. Mostly because I want a new experience with Pokemon games, especially after Pokemon Scarlet and Violet has left a sour taste in my mouth. I don't really like how the fact that, I was willing to forgive Game Freak for not delivering it in a playable state, because as I said, I think Pokemon Scarlet and Violet did a lot of good things right, and it did a lot of good things, but ultimately, it fell short regarding the performance. And I do programming on the side, team programming on the side. Like, my main job is application development. I am a software developer, programmer, engineer, whatever it is called, people with my degree, right? So I understand certain things has happened. But for them to have missed that level of performance when, truthfully, modders had taken up the charge, and apparently it really was just one single plane that stretched across the entire map that caused a huge percentage of frame drops. Game Freak needs help, and I don't know if it's pride or ego or what, but they need help. They need to hire proper people. And I front loading all of this without actually talking about Detective Pikachu, because Detective Pikachu looks really good. I know people is like, oh my god, it just isn't as pretty as a PlayStation 5. Wow, glorious. That is not my point. My point is that I don't really care if it looks like a GameCube game. I don't care if it looks like a Nintendo 64 game. Some of us just, it does not really matter to us as much. There's this thing called art direction. I have no problem if a game intentionally limits its art style to form an aesthetic. That's fine. Many games do that. And I encourage you all to seek out other games that doesn't have a traditional photorealistic art style, or even more of those like Xbox One X, Series S, or those PlayStation 5 type graphics, like the Final Fantasy style graphics. Seek it out. There's a lot of good games there. The aesthetics are really nice, and it's a fun type. Now, for me, yeah, texture is a little bit messy. I don't care, If the textures are messy everywhere, and it looks like it is messy everywhere, it will all just fit together perfectly like Legos, Like you put in puzzle pieces together. And to me, it looks fun. It looks fine. It looks like, there's a story there, there's a narrative there. I'm perfectly okay with that. And I think people, people who actively go after Pokemon fans need to understand that sometimes, there's a lot more to the game than graphics. However, performance, on the other hand, that is a whole different problem. From all the clips we've seen thus far, it looks like Pokemon Detective Pikachu Returns is actually a really competent game. I'm not seeing any kind of, like frame dips, frame stutters. animation stutters like we saw with Scarlet and Violet. I don't know who this game is being developed by. I didn't bother to check up front, but I think it is probably a separate development studio. Now, I would have really liked it to have like a open map kind of experience, open zone. I think Sega had pioneered that. I would very much like to be able to explore the entire this entire new town, this entire new city. Like that was one of the things that really disappointed me about Scarlet and Violet, is that if you played Scarlet and Violet and you reached the cities, you realize it was just like a junction and it was like a cross, and it was kind of bland and lifeless, sorry, you know? And to me, I really wanted the cities. The cities was something I was looking forward to, and I really like the fact that this game looks like is a city. You know, I hope that we get to explore the map. Sure, it would have been really nice if we could have if everything could have been like an open world, but that's okay. I have no problem with loading screens, especially for different style of games. Now, I don't play that much mystery games. I don't really play that much. I played, what is this game called? Ace Ventura. No, not Ace Ventura. Although I think video games would probably be a really good medium to bring Ace Ventura back. You know, actually, that's a whole different thing. So I'm sorry about that. I think the Ace Attorney series is what I'm thinking about it. I played it for a little while, but I actually don't remember much about it. I do have it. I do have a copy of the game though, so I do want to play that at some point. I realized that I haven't really spoken much about Detective Pikachu Returns, other than the fact that, you know, the graphics are decidedly mid. But again, as long as it is consistent throughout the game, and it does look like it's consistent throughout the game, I think it's going to be a fine game. So I don't think there'll be any real trouble or any real issues regarding that. You know, overall, what this game is going to deliver a story. And, you know, as I said up front in this video, I think it's time that Pokemon does in fact branch out and start to get a little bit newer stories and newer gameplay styles. The Pokken Tournament is a fantastic game. You know, I'm not a big fighting game fan, but I played a lot of it and I actually really enjoyed it. It was actually surprisingly complicated, but that's because it was made by Bandai Namco, who makes Tekken. So obviously, you know, you have people capable of making really good experiences set in the Pokemon universe. And that's kind of where I hope Nintendo and Game Freak takes Pokemon. I want more experiences like Detective Pikachu. You know, one of the games that I always wanted to play was Yokai Watch, you know. In fact, if you all want me to check out Yokai Watch and do a video on it, you know, just let me know. Yeah, so, you know, having more of an open world set in like a city or something, you know, it doesn't have to be this big, grandiose experience like the Pokemon mainline games, but, you know, there is experiences to be had. Mystery Dungeon was a good thing. The Pokemon Conquest, which also a really fantastic game, and I enjoyed that quite a bit on the DS. I think that was a great game, you know? So I hope that they continue to try to expand the Pokemon universe. Obviously, we're not going to be hitting the consistent million, but, you know, we don't really need to do that, you know? So that's the thing. I really hoping that this game delivers on its story and on its character interactions, on just its fun, quirky nature, because it feels like a fun, quirky game. And I really do hope that that's something that Game Freak and Nintendo really pushes towards, making a better experience. It doesn't have to be the Pokemon that we always know, because we have the mainline series. And I hope they try to use these to buffer a couple more years so that we can get a really good next generation Pokemon game. So those are my thoughts on Pokemon Detective Pikachu Returns. I am actually really excited for this game. I'm going to pick up this game on day one because I have a new job. But in the meantime, if you'd like to see more behind the scenes stuff, I have a Patreon, Void0 Media, patreon.com/Void0 Media. 0 with the actual 0, the numerical number. You know, go subscribe. I have some other stuff planned and it will help me actually. I do have a Patreon. I am really trying to like make a little bit better quality content. I'm still working on some of the reviews. Those will be really big pieces, so you could follow the building, the creation of those reviews. I have a weekly update kind of podcast on Patreon. So you can, in the meantime, you can subscribe, you can comment, you can like, you can do all the fun stuff that you usually do. Complain about how Pokemon Violet sucks in the in the comment section. Drop a few emojis to show your disapproval of it. And I also do a lot of other videos like this where I talk about stuff that I find interested inside games. Sorry. So I'll leave a link to the top right hand corner. Let's drop a listen, and thanks everyone for watching. The Void called and you all have answered.